What is up, Karatics? I'm just going to be giving a visual guide for this week's normal time trial, RC Bandito time trial, and the premium race, totaling over $300,000. Note that the time trials could only be completed once a week for the full $100,000 payout. The premium race, however, can be completed in a limited amount of times with a 48-minute cooldown between each win. So, starting off with the time trial this week, which is Pillbox Hill, I highly recommend a fast motorcycle such as the Hakushu Drag, Shotaro, or Batty 801 for this time trial. If you're going to use a car, I highly recommend using either the Emerus or the Krieger. This time trial does give quite a bit of extra time, so there are many other cars you could complete it with. There's also a couple of easy shortcuts that you can take as well. This is a pretty straightforward time trial. I will be using the Batty 801 because it's the cheapest and that's what most people will use, and you'll be able to see here that it's actually really easy to use for this time trial. The traffic is the main thing to avoid in this time trial, as with most of them, but this one especially because of how many intersections you're going through. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is La Fuente Blanca. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. This time trial is a little difficult if you've never done it before. If you go full speed on your first trial, you will miss checkpoints, turns, and crash into a lot of objects. This time trial is all about letting off the throttle and braking for most of the tight corners. Also, when you use your brakes, make sure you press them about halfway in or a little more than halfway in, not all the way, or you will lose control of the Bandito. This time trial has a ton of narrow paths and places where you can instantly miss turns, so I highly recommend the first time you do it just going really slow, just so you can kind of familiarize yourself with where all the checkpoints are. Then once you know where everything is, then you can go full out in the time trial. And lastly, we have this week's premium race, which is Downtown Underground. This one is restricted to the supercars class. I highly recommend using either the Emirates, Krieger, Wagner, or the S80RR for this race. This race is not as easy as most tracks, especially if you've never done it before. I highly recommend doing a few laps on the regular version of this race first. It will help tremendously. I will be using an Emirates with off-road tires for this race. For those of you who don't know, off-road tires help absorb most of the road bumps, resulting in a more stable and quicker driving experience in the turns. And that's it, guys. Normal time trial this week is pretty simple, as it gives a bit of extra time, although the traffic is a little annoying because of all the intersections. The RC time trial is a little more difficult than most because of the narrow paths and constant turns, so give it some few slow practice runs first. And this week's premium race is a little difficult if you've never done it before. Again, remember guys, you can earn over $300,000 between the three this week, and setting yourself the goal to beat them is always a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know down below in the comments which one you found most difficult and what vehicles you used. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.